Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Big Akar Ahmed and welcome to today's channel. Today I would like to be talking about something that has been bothering me for the last couple days. Apparently the bishop, the very, very famous bishop online that has been, fairly popular, that I've been seeing clips go around for almost the last 6 months to a year. His name is Bishop Mari Emmanuel. He has been stabbed, I believe, on Monday in Sydney, Australia. This is the second stabbing that has occurred within 24 to 48 hours of each other in Sydney, Australia. And he is not the only person that was harmed during this church service. But basically what happened was the bishop was giving a church service, a sermon, essentially. And a crazy person decided to walk in, run up to him, and stab him multiple times, wounding him. And when things like this happen, it's very, very sickening. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and which is one of the murder capitals of the world. There was a day in Detroit where nobody got murdered, and they actually celebrated. There was a celebration, because they went one day without murder, and at that celebration, someone was murdered. So the world's very, very sick. That's the first thing I would like to say. Second thing I'd like to say is I don't know why there is an increase in crime, especially knife crime in Australia and in the UK, but it's getting very, very, very bad. If you are an American and you are not a felon and you have a clean record, I suggest that you go and you exercise your Second Amendment right and you go ahead and you get yourself a weapon for self-protection. I do not advocate for violence. I do not advocate for hurting anyone. But if someone was to come and hurt me or someone was to come and hurt my family, you best believe I will have no issue pulling that trigger. I'll have no issue fighting back. There's nothing more scary than waiting until someone's in your face with a knife or in your face with a gun and you're not able to defend yourself. You're not able to express that Second Amendment freedom that you were given in this country. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you are American, go ahead, learn how to wield a gun, go to a gun range, figure out how to work it, figure out how to use it, and go ahead and buy yourself a weapon. Go and express that Second Amendment right, because I promise you, when someone knows that you have a weapon and someone knows you can fight back, this is why crimes like this happen in the UK. This is why crimes like this happen in Australia. Because they know no one's walking around with a gun, no one's walking around with another knife. I can just go stab people, and I can just go take things from people, and I can just go rob people, and no one's going to do anything about it. It's going to be very, very easy for me to get away if there's no police officer directly around me, right? So I do advise you guys go protect yourself. Now, this specific situation is very distasteful to me. A, because it happened inside of a church, which is a house of worship for God. B, the attacker is very, very young. I believe it says the attacker is 15 years old, 15 or 16 years old. 3, the attacker is proclaimed to be Muslim. Now, I'm seeing a lot of Muslim hate online because of this specific scenario. This is the second stabbing in 48 hours in Sydney, Australia, may I remind you. The first one was a crazy man who went ahead and killed 6 people and I believe injured 11, stabbing and killing a pregnant woman included. And no one wants to talk about his race. No one wants to talk about his religion. But when a 15-year... That was a grown man, by the way, who was deemed as crazy. But when this crazy 15, 16-year-old boy walks into a church and stabs the bishop, no matter what he claimed his reasoning was, it's deemed as a terrorist attack. It's deemed that the religion of Islam had somehow taught him to go stab bishops. And I find that very, very ignorant and very distasteful. And all that's going to come out from this, and all that's going to happen from this is a way, way, way bigger disconnect. This is what the devil wants. This is what the elites of the world want. They want us fighting. They want us bickering. They want us against each other. If the 2 billion Muslims and the 3 billion Christians are against each other, they already won. All right? Know who your enemy is. Your enemy is Satan. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If Islam was a religion of terrorism and killing and murdering and stabbing bishops, there's 2 billion Muslims on the planet, and it is the fastest growing religion on the planet. If that was the case, you would 100,000 jillion quadrillion % not be alive right now. You wouldn't. There would be a global world war that can never be imagined right now if that was truly the case. Secondly, when do 15 or 16-year-olds even follow their religion? I've never seen a 15 or 16-year-old actually follow their religion. 15 and 16-year-olds are usually like trying to get into relationships and having sex and like messing with drugs and at parties, or are, on the streets, joining gangs at that age. That's when they're starting to get really, really crazy, and they're starting to do things, and they think that they know everything, and they think that they got everything under control. So if a 15, 16-year-old boy is running around stabbing people like this, like he's stabbing this bishop, I do not see in any way, shape, or form how someone is blaming the religion. Do you guys really think that this 15, 16-year-old boy is like a long-lived Muslim scholar, and like he took what he learned from Islam and went and stabbed a bishop? Or do you think he's a 15, 16-year-old boy, he's in the street life, he's messed up in the head a bit, he saw the bishop talking bad or saying something, and he went and did something to him? Or maybe he was paid, or anything. Why are we attacking 2 billion people for the actions of one human being? And I find it very sickening. I find it very distasteful. Like I said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, which is one of the murder capitals of the world. And in Detroit, Michigan, it is filled with people who are proclaimed Christians, killing for $10, killing for some crack, killing, because their baby mama or their girlfriend cheated on them. And it's sick. The internet is a sick place. I visited X over the last week. I don't use other social media apps. I don't use X. I don't use TikTok. I don't use Facebook. I visited X and I was looking through things. It is a sick, sick place. It's just people arguing and fighting and attacking each other. It is sickening. All right. So I just want to go ahead and watch a couple of these clips, see what the news articles have to say about this, and then we'll go ahead and end the video. I don't even have to say this, but I condemn any acts of violence. I don't know why the rest of the Muslim community always has to stand for an act of violence that a Muslim commits. Like someone like this, I do not proclaim them as Muslim. A Muslim is someone who submits their will to God. This guy is definitely not submitting his will to God. This 15, 16-year-old attacker is not submitting himself to God. This is actually wild. That anyone has to condemn simple acts of violence, unless like my parents or my family directly went out and started killing people. Then yeah, maybe I might have to condemn that, or it's gonna look like I support them in the end. But no one supports this. No one thinks this is okay. And if you do think that things like this are okay, or you do have some type of biased or distasteful look towards this bishop, I know this bishop has talked bad about Islam, and I know this bishop has talked bad about the Prophet. I know this bishop has said some ignorant, very ignorant things against Islam, and that might hurt you, and that's fine. Your feelings do not give you the right to go stab people. It doesn't. If the bishop comes to you and goes, I'm going to kill you with a knife, right? And he's trying to stab you, that gives you the right to defend yourself. But you don't go out and you don't go stab people. That is not what Islam teaches. That is not what the Prophet taught. And whoever thinks this has been brainwashed, like completely brainwashed. Please, guys, I'm always going to show this. Go to the source. Do you see my tabs? This is my Quran, right? This is the source. This is where you get your information. Not online, not from anti-Muslim activists, not from Sam Shampoo or David Wood or any of these apologists channels that are anti-Islam who go and they debate all day. Even the Muslim debaters, I don't agree with them. I don't like them. You aren't going to help people come closer to God by constantly debating and causing arguments all day long with other people who believe in God. That's not how this works. Christian people and Jewish people and Muslim people are all people of the book. They are people of the book. Do you understand? They're not pagans who came to attack you. They are people of the book. You do not run around and attack them. You do not run around and argue and fight with each other. You guys want to have critical discussions? Come have critical discussions. Do not attack each other. That is what the devil wants. He wants you to attack each other. Let's go ahead and check these sources here.
الدرسن تخوى اشقيلو قمتريشا
So he ran up, he tried to stab him. I don't even know, this video is probably gonna take it down. I mean, I don't mind showing it. There's no like blood, there's no like actual gore or anything going on here.
Possibly shot dead. This
Here
gives
we
you
go.
some idea. There's a mother with her children.
It comes just days after another knife attack. Sydney shopping mall leaves 6 people dead.
And these are people that are
Joel
just away from it.
Kachi, who cops said mental health issues.
These people are trying
Center
to get away
of
from
the
and
Bondry
these people
district
on, other
on April
levels are getting a
13th.
view of all this, Deb. It's an incredible scene.
Yeah, it's quite shocking and confronting to see this unfold. And
So this guy literally ran around the mall stabbing people. Anyone he can get his hands on. And everyone just stood there and like watched it, which is actually insanity. Look at these comments, guys. I sorted them as newest first. Stay vigilant. Maybe you should get off and turn. Maybe you should get off, turn the other cheek, and get vigilant. Prayer's coming. None's gonna talk about the guy who yelled Allahu Akbar, saying that they are loving. Most sane Muslim. Fill my heart within the religion, however, getting out of hand. The Muslim Prophet Muhammad always said to love our enemies. Islam scum. Muslims are gaslighting each other in the comments. Allah times speed breaker. Moon. In the West, you can't even publicly condemn Islam without being murdered. Shaking my head. Do Christians go out and murder people who offend Christianity? You can't even publicly go out and criticize or condemn Islam without being murdered? I don't know if that's quite true. I mean, look at all these comments. Guys, look what's happening around us. I mean, everyone goes around and argues and says things and says all these ignorant things. I mean, look at my comment section. I make videos about bringing people closer to God, and I make comments. I make videos about Christianity, and I speak very, very, very light-heartedly about religion. I do not speak harshly about it. And I ask questions and I engage. And if you saw the comments and the amount of people who attack me and who curse me and who say things, I mean, you think I lose sleep at night? You think I'm worried about coming to hurt you? Prophet Muhammad said, don't kill bishops or destroy church. I mean, yeah. Muslims obviously what a disgrace the religion is. As these are the new comments. This isn't even like this is like every single comment. Playing games just to make Islam dirty, it won't work. Now what do they accomplish? People use them to further attack Islam. I'm proud of being Hindu. What are these religions? Christ is king. As a Muslim, totally wrong. This is totally wrong to harm an innocent man. Definitely an Israeli who did this. Actually, a priest did. Don't forget it was done by a Jew. This is what their Muhammad taught them. Pure evil. Islam is the religion of devil. You cannot kill the gospel if the gospel is risen. Pray for the attack. Pray for his soul. Islam is evil. Full stop. The persecution of Christians is escalating. Cancer. Islam. Stay strapped. I'm gonna like it. They say Islam is a religion of peace. Religion of peace strikes again. So, I mean, you can go anywhere reading this news article and seeing, what's going on here. And you're just going to get all of these anti-Islamic comments. Religion of peace strikes again. And, remember our government's letting these people in. That is also a big, big, big problem, right? Is the government's letting these people in. They're not checking them. They're not doing any type of formulated process. They are letting millions of people into this country, into the United States, into Australia, into the UK, into Europe, without any proper checking, without any proper, due process, right? And that's a problem. Like, you don't know who someone is. You don't know who someone is, Muslim, not Muslim. I mean, we have a big problem at the southern border, right? You have cartels and gangs and all types of people who can come in. No one has a problem with a family that wants a better life, with a mother or a father who are trying to get away from a specific scenario, and they're trying to go to another country, and they're trying to work hard in that country and help the economy and become a part of that, civilization and a part of that society. No one has a problem with that. But you really don't understand that a lot of people do flee from where they are because they're criminals. They're quite literally criminals that have fled from where they were to get away from danger. And they become the danger somewhere else. And that is a big, 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 big problem happening, especially in the United States of America. That's why I say, guys, you need to stay guarded. You need to stay protected. I'm not saying run around the streets with a gun on your hip, but at least protect yourself at your home. Protect your own family. Like, what are you gonna do when some crazy comes and does something like this? But you know what I don't understand is all these comments are just talking about Islam. They completely ignore the 6 murdered at the mall. They don't care anything about the 6 murdered at the mall. All they care about is the one guy that was injured, right? That survived. And they're calling it a terrorist attack, and it's Muslims' fault, and it's Islam's fault, and all of this stuff. And 3 people were injured, and they all survived. But then this guy murdered 6 people, including a pregnant woman, and injured, I believe, 11 or 12 people at the mall. They don't care. They don't care. It's hateful people. I don't see any difference in the heart of a man who goes and starts stabbing people, or people in the comments section that are just trying to attack and hate and cause a bigger divide and cause more tension, because those tensions will always lead to fighting, and that fighting will always lead to death. It will happen every single time. Every single time. I don't care who you are. If you're talking about cheese and you guys disagree for a certain amount of time on cheese, eventually it's going to become physical. You guys end up hurting each other over cheese. And if one person doesn't hurt each other to that point and it keeps going and it keeps going and keeps going, you might kill that person over cheese. Like, quite literally. It's so sad to see how nasty the internet has become. The internet is a fucking ew. Ew, 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 ew. Here's Joel Kochi, the guy who went ahead and attacked at the mall. Here's his parents.
I'm extremely sorry. I'm heartbroken for you. Look, this is so horrendous that I can't even explain it. You're trying to give you an intelligent conversation. I can't do it because I'm just devastated. I love my son. I made myself a servant to my son when I found out he had a mental illness. I became his servant. I did everything because I love that boy.
Do you have any reason to understand why he would have targeted women?
Yes,
Why?
because he wanted a girlfriend and he's got no social skills. And he was frustrated out of his brain. And I saw him having a meal at a restaurant, walk out of the restaurant, and he just, boom, fell into a shop. There's something physically wrong, besides mentally wrong, with my son before he died.
This is the parents.
So, the man at the mall ended up killing a bunch of women specifically because he wanted a girlfriend. That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't see people attacking heterosexual males because they want girlfriends. And look at the comments. Leave the family alone. Oh man, leave the parents alone. I'm sure the parents would have agreed at a press conference. Please don't blame yourself. Prayers for y'all. People are saying in the comments, no excuse, have no idea. These poor people, but every single Muslim on the planet has to pay for what happened to the bishop, right? Every single Muslim on the planet is required to go ahead and condemn what happened to the bishop. No one feels bad about the 2 billion Muslims that are being attacked because one crazy 15, 16-year-old went ahead and stabbed this bishop. I find this all very, 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 very distasteful. All of this scares me because if people's minds and people's faith and people's connection to each other is this weak, if it's this weak, then am I safe? Am I safe? That's when I start questioning, am I safe? As a Muslim here, sitting right here in a majority Christian country, who aren't even Christians, most people aren't even Christians. They fornicate, they drink, they steal. The amount of things that happen in this country, you want to call this a Christian country. A lot of people say, oh, Muslims run to Christian countries. I'm from Detroit, born and raised, American. I'm Muslim by faith. American. Christian? I studied Christianity. There's nothing Christian about this country. Promotes fornication and porn and sex. Promotes drug use and alcoholism. The music is disgusting. The movies are disgusting. They make fun of Jesus. They make fun of religion. They won't even let you say God in school anymore. Is this really a Christian country? They have stripped religion from this whole entire country. And they're trying to take your rights away one by one by one. The gay pride, the transgenderism, men being women, women being men. This is the end in the fall of a civilization in front of your eyes. A Christian country? People worship their egos. People worship the substances that they use. People worship these artists, these celebrities. This is a pagan country. There's nothing Christian about the United States of America. There's nothing Christian about Australia. There's nothing Christian about the UK. There's nothing Christian about Europe. There's nothing Muslim about any of these Muslim countries either. Nothing. God is exiting the hearts of the people of this planet. And that is why I made this YouTube channel. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you do. I just want you to connect to your Creator. If you establish a personal connection with your Creator will guide you. If you have pure intention and a good heart, your Creator will guide you. If you want it, if you ask for it, if you work for it, He'll guide you. But what's happening online here, what's happening in these comment sections, the hate, the division against God's people, I don't see this much, hate and division over the 6 dead in the mall. I don't see this much hate and division over OnlyFans. I don't see it. I don't see when their kids are being destroyed, when their kids are fornicating at the age of 13, 14, 15. Boyfriends, girlfriends, it's cute. Having sleepovers. Christian country. Where? Where's the laws, the rules, the regulations? Who lives the way Jesus taught us to live? It's getting out of hand. And there's no way that people are going to just be allowed to go online and continuously hate and hate and hate and hate and hate each other. The amount of anti-Jewish hate, the amount of anti-Muslim hate, the amount of anti-Christian hate right now online is incredible. And the more and the more and the more it happens and the more it's allowed, the more Muslims are going to hate Christians, the more Christians are going to hate Muslims, the more Muslims are going to hate Jews, the more Jews are going to hate Muslims, the more Jews are going to hate Christians, the more Christians are going to hate Jews, and vice versa. That's just how it's going to work. It is sickening. And it's going to continue to escalate if people do not guard their hearts, if people do not guard their souls. This is going to continue to escalate. Inshallah, I pray to God and I hope that the bishop goes ahead and recovers. He has a speedy recovery and he comes back and he speaks about this properly. This is wild to me. Not that the bishop got stabbed. The response. You should be mad. You should be mad. Everyone should be mad. And everyone should be strengthening their faith, their heart, and their soul. All should be mad. But watch who you're mad at. We all have one common enemy, and it's not each other. And if you want to be mad at something, fix yourself. If we all fix ourselves, things like this cannot happen. Thank you guys so much for coming in today. God bless every single one of you. I love you all. And until next time, free Palestine.